Most of us spend our whole lives not asking the tough questions, the ones that make our bars shake and make threats against comfort parts of our daily lives. What if I told you that the key to your fullest ability, what these tough questions really mean? It's not just about pushing the limits, it has to do with tearing them down. We are going to look at the old but always important world of Stoicism, a worldview that doesn't just question what we believe but changes things. The way we live. Stoicism is a way of thinking. From the times of Greece shows us that the key to staying strong is not found in dodging problems but by accepting them as parts of life, of our development. It gives you not just the guts to deal with danger, but the smart to figure out what really counts in the middle of chaos as we take things apart. The ideas behind Stoicism will look into what these timeless truths mean that can help us live better lives. Whether you feel stuck or not, or just eager to improve your approach to life's problems, watch out. On this path to Stoicism can be more than just learning a philosophy, it's about doing it, every day and always. In case you like what we're doing right now, simple favor for free. I have a question for you, is to click the subscribe button. Come on. What Stoicism teaches us that little changes lead to big ones. Steps taken on purpose. It's not about making changes, your life in one night, but about making it possible. Carefully made changes that slowly led to leading to major changes. The idea behind this doesn't push for quick, major change, which can be too much and not sustainable in its place. It stresses the power of small steps forward. Every little thing you do is a brick in the building of the new you, the same way that Zeno of Citium, the person who started Stoicism, is likely to. It's about putting one stone in front of another, carefully and on purpose to make the strong road in order to improve oneself. How do you begin with something small? In the real world, it might be as easy as setting aside 5 minutes in the morning to think, or writing in a book in which it deeply practices based on the Stoic tradition. These times of thinking about things let you match the things you do every day with your deeper morals, making people feel at peace with themselves and light that guides. Have a nice day. Another small but important step could mean changing how you react to stresses. From outside, Stoics work on changing the way they think about things. To handle replies to things they couldn't control. This means to stop when you are angry or upset and picking an answer that shows calmness and sense in place of impulsivity. Beginning small, it also means accepting the idea behind quiet acceptance, which leads to acknowledging getting used to the present moment to not wish things were different. Taking this could mean an annoying little thing with grace, or noticing a tough feeling without letting it control what you do. To pay attention to these small parts of your life that you can handle. It's not just Stoicism that you're doing, you are living it. As you take each small step, your determination to master your self-growth all the time, having the Stoic ideal that real progress is a planned act and slow trip, not a sprint. Socrates thought that stress is not caused because of the events but by what we think about those occasions. This point of view is powerful. It means you are in charge of everything, over your own state of mind, no matter what is going on outside. What Stoicism teaches us to break down our worry, to find out where it came from, and to question the decisions that make it happen. A lot of times, anxiety from our need to be in charge, the future that we can't change the thoughts of other people. What will happen in every case, however, Stoicism says the only things really, our own acts are under our control. What you think and feel when you feel anxious beginning to appear. Think about it for a moment. Are you stressed out about something you can't change? Change your attention instead to how you can answer, which you always have control over. That's not what this shift is about, but about changing how you see things. Daily practice of this Stoic separation can make worry a lot less unpleasant. It's about developing a disciplined mind that lets you to own up to your fears, check their validity, and then get back to actionable things that can be controlled about a situation. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics many times reminded themselves to tell the difference between events outside the company and responses inside, getting people to focus on self-mastery in the face of the irregularities of life. Even more, Stoicism also means preemptive training for the mind, by doing things such as premeditatio, mellorum, where you picture the worst possible situations and get your mind ready for them. It might not make sense to do this, But by facing your fears in your mind, you make them less powerful over you. Lowering stress by getting used to it, to the idea that you can deal with problems by following these Stoic practices. You slowly build up your mental toughness. That doesn't just protect you worries about the future, but also gives you power to enjoy the present moment more. Every time there is stress becomes a chance to get better at being tough to change. What might be an event that paralyzes turn into a chance for strength and emotional growth. Smart people like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca knew that building frees us from the mess of daily choice-making and brings us together more with our good qualities. A well-thought-out practice is not a prison, not even a framework that helps us reach our biggest goals, ideas, and rules. Picture your daily life as a garden. Like a park requires regular care to grow, you do, and the things you do need constant attention to improve the qualities of wisdom, truth, courage, and moderation, the most important parts of Stoicism. First, write down the times of day when you can take part in practices that make these qualities stronger. It could be a practice in the morning to help make peace smarts and moderation, or making time to help other people, courage and fair play. But how do you actually build just like that? Start with small responsibilities that you can handle. If you don't like getting up early, do not plan your most difficult jobs in the morning. Instead, make your tasks fit to the beats of your heart. Give yourself time to think. Maybe by writing in a journal or reading books about Stoics to help you remember the stern rules you want to be like. In addition, include moments of taking silent breaks throughout the day. These are short times where you can stop and think on how you're feeling right now and get back on track with Stoic ideas. Some time to ask yourself, what does this behavior have to do with my virtues? These breaks can help your practice stick. By basing your decisions on Stoic thought, a Stoic practice also allows for adaptability inside its structure. Stoicism teaches us how important of changing to fit the situation with equal vigor. So if something comes up and takes your time, or the chance comes up to show a virtue, change your plans accordingly. The point isn't to stick to it strictly, to make a list, but to live with a goal in line with Stoic values as you set up and get used to your process. Remember that the main goal isn't just to get things done, but to build a character that stays steady and good no matter what the outside events are. A tough practice can help you build a life, not only of how well it works, but of moral purity and intellectual happiness in being Stoic. Telling yourself to stop isn't just about stopping a habit, it's about taking charge. Control your wants and urges, which often take us wrong. This has deep roots. When Stoics talk about mastering yourself, the thought that being free comes from inside, not because of outside factors telling yourself to stop, is about getting your willpower together to change your route toward acts that are better. Let's think about what you can do to make this happen. Let us say you find yourself often putting things off. Get lost on social media in place of engaging in tasks with more meaning. During this time, telling yourself to stop equals more. More than just putting down your phone, it means recognizing the urge to keep you from focusing on your goals and choosing to do so, to take your attention away to tasks that fit in with your calm goals, like to read ideas or taking some time to think and reflect. This method can be used to any urge or habit that doesn't help you reach your bigger goal. It could be eating too much, any kind of smoking, or too much the Stoic concept in this case. It's not just about stopping the bad, but about changing it to a good thing. Here's where the idea of virtue replacement comes in, is used, where you swap a bad habit with a good one, with one that helps you get better health and well-being. Even more, telling yourself to stop also has to do with stopping to think about why you join these kinds of actions. What pain or empty space do you want to fill? What Stoicism teaches us to directly deal with these discomforts, to get to know them and figure out how to deal with things without falling back on bad habits. This thought leads to learn more about yourself, an important part of Stoic thought, which eventually gives you power to pick better things being used in this. Remember what the Stoics believed, that you have the ability to choose your answer no matter what. By telling yourself to stop, you are working on it. One of the best ways to control yourself, a real test and proof of your ability to stay alive based on reasonable ideas. Even when habits get in the way that have seemed impossible to overcome in the present day, these are often thrown away. to do things that don't help us reach our bigger goals or are in line with our core beliefs. It could be anything from mindlessly scrolling through on social media sites to taking on too much responsibility because they felt like they had to instead of real interest or goal. What Stoicism teaches us to look at our promises from the point of view of ethics and how useful checking to see if these tasks help us reach our goals, moral growth, and development. Now, how can you really set these things free? Begin by a look at your normal week or day. Figure out how you spend your time. What jobs make you tired, and what keeps your attention? Are these lining up to help you live a wise life bravely and gently, as is right? If not, it could be time to change some things. Getting rid of junk, both mental and physical, is another tough habit. By cutting down on the things that distract us, we make room for it. That helps you relax and concentrate. It's not just about keeping your home or workplace clean, but about setting up an atmosphere where you can do well. One that helps you live your life based on Stoic ideals, and getting these tools back. It's not enough to just make room on your calendar or at your desk. You are making room in your life to expand a thought and participation with the more profound parts of being. You're making plans for a life where acts are planned and in line with the ideals of Stoicism. Making sure that every move you is a step toward becoming the person you want to be. Doing things that are hard isn't just about seeing how far we can go, but about making them bigger, a term with deep roots in Stoic thought. The Stoics fought for the idea of choosing to be uncomfortable as a way to gain more control over yourself. They think that by doing something tough, we not only show how strong we are, but we should also train to deal with future problems and with more ease and calm. Think about this example, the act of deliberately picking jobs that are hard. Whether you're working on a hard job at work, starting a strict workout plan, sometimes having to have tough talks. At first, these tasks may seem difficult, but each one gives you a different chance to grow good qualities like bravery with persistence and temperance. What Stoicism teaches us that these jobs are really worth it lies not in what will happen right away, but in the ways they help us grow. How do you start? To add this to your daily life, begin by figuring out something you've been putting off because of how hard it is, how to do this job, thinking in a Stoic way. Think of it as a workout. To make your character and ideals stronger, prepare your mind by telling yourself one of the good things about this project, not just the final goals, but the strengths of each person. In the end, you will win. Even more, Stoicism doesn't mean we have these problems to solve, blindly or without planning ahead. Instead, it makes us stronger. To approach them in a methodical way, taking them apart into steps that are easy to handle and making sure standards are reasonable. This organized method not only makes hard things easier to talk to, but also builds a sense of responsibility and reason for what we do by regularly crossing your limits. You not only improve your skills to get through tough times and also boost your confidence. Sure of what you can do in every challenge becomes proof of how strong you are, and the determination to live a good life, heavily based on Stoic ideas. What Stoicism teaches us how important group is, along with the deep impact of the places we hang out, about our own growth. Philosophers who were Stoic such as Epictetus and Seneca stress that the people we keep is not just a mirror of what we believe in, but also makes them being with other people who are good examples that we want to improve in ourselves, can speed up our growth toward becoming better people. Take a look at this, for every interaction gives you a chance to learn and grow. How you choose to spend your time with people who make you think, help your growth, and cheer you up to follow higher standards. You're basically just getting ready to succeed in these connections. Always serve as a reminder of what's possible and encourage you to become your best self. How can you use it in real life? This wise advice. Start by taking a look at your current relationships. Ask yourself which links encourage your virtues and which might be hindering your growth. It's not about judging others, but about recognizing the influence they have on your life. Once you identify those who uplift you, make a conscious effort to invest more in those relationships. This might mean initiating deeper conversations, seeking advice, or collaborating on projects that align with your shared values. Furthermore, actively seek out new connections that align with the person you want to become. This could involve joining clubs, groups, or online communities that focus on areas of personal interest or development, whether it's a philosophy reading group, a fitness community, or a volunteer organization. These spaces can provide you with a network of like-minded individuals who encourage and inspire you. Remember, in the spirit of Stoicism, it's not about surrounding yourself with perfection, but about fostering genuine connections that challenge you to think critically, act justly, and live courageously. By curating your social circle. In this way, you create a dynamic and supportive environment conducive to personal moral growth and development. In being Stoic, change is viewed not as a threat, but as an inevitable part of the universe's natural order. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics believed that fearing change is as pointless as fearing the sunrise. Both are inevitable and beyond our control. Embracing change, therefore, is about aligning ourselves with the flow of life, recognizing that each change brings with it an opportunity for personal growth and development. The first step in overcoming the fear of change is to understand the Stoic concept of amor fati, which translates to love of fate. This means accepting everything that happens to us, even the seemingly negative experiences, as necessary parts of our journey. By adopting this mindset, we not only alleviate much of the anxiety associated with uncertainty, and also open ourselves to the lessons these changes bring to practically stop fearing change. Begin by observing how you react to small changes in your daily routine. It could be anything from a change in your work schedule to a last-minute adjustment in your plans. Notice any resistance you feel and remind yourself of the Stoic practice of viewing obstacles as opportunities. Each small instance of change is a training ground for building resilience and flexibility. Even more, integrate the practice of reflective meditation into your routine. Reflect on past changes that initially seemed daunting, but eventually led to positive outcomes. This reinforces the belief that change, while often uncomfortable, can lead to significant personal and professional growth. Remember that Stoicism doesn't just ask us to passively accept change, but to actively engage with it in a way that aligns with our virtues. This means approaching change proactively, making decisions based on wisdom and justice, and using change as a catalyst to better ourselves and our surroundings. By viewing change through this Stoic lens, you can transform what many fear into a profound source of empowerment and renewal. In being Stoic, saying no to the inessential is about focusing on what truly contributes to your well-being and aligning with your deeper values. This principle helps you cultivate a life that is not cluttered with superfluous activities, relationships, or possessions, but is instead streamlined towards virtue and personal growth. The Stoic philosophers emphasize the importance of distinguishing between what is necessary and what is not, encouraging us to shed excess and prioritize essentials. This approach is not just about minimalism in the physical sense. It also applies to our commitments, engagements, and even our thoughts. By reducing the non-essential, we free up our resources, time, energy, and attention to focus on activities that foster true fulfillment and happiness. To apply this in your daily life, start by evaluating your current commitments. Ask yourself whether each activity or obligation is helping you progress toward your personal and ethical goals. Is it contributing to your growth, or is it merely filling time? This evaluation requires honest self-reflection, a core component of Stoic practice. Once you identify what is inessential, have the courage to start saying no. This might mean declining invitations that do not align with your goals, stepping away from projects that drain your resources without offering meaningful returns, or even distancing yourself from negative social interactions. Even more, practice this principle with your possessions and digital life. Simplify your living space and digital connections to include only those things that add value to your life. This doesn't mean living without comfort or enjoyment, but prioritizing those that serve a purpose beyond mere acquisition or distraction. Incorporating the Stoic habit of saying no to the inessential empowers you to control your environment rather than letting it control you. It's about making active choices that reinforce your autonomy and support your journey toward living a more purposeful and centered life. Think of your personal rhythm as the natural state where you feel most aligned with your values and most productive in your actions. Disruptions to this rhythm are inevitable, whether due to external circumstances like unexpected events or internal disturbances like emotional upheavals. The Stoic approach to dealing with these disruptions isn't to overreact or to despair. but to gently guide oneself back to established practices of self-discipline and mindfulness. To embody this, begin by identifying the core activities that constitute your rhythm. These might include specific routines like morning meditations, evening reviews of the day, regular physical exercise, or dedicated periods for reading and reflection. When life knocks you off, balance priorities these activities to reestablish your grounding. Moreover, use Stoic reflection as a tool to understand what led to the disruption. Was it within your control? If so, what can be done differently in the future? If it wasn't, remind yourself of the Stoic dichotomy of control, which urges us to focus on our reactions to events rather than the events themselves. Returning to your rhythm also means forgiving yourself for any deviations. What Stoicism teaches us to be kind to ourselves, understanding that perfection is not the goal but continual improvement. Each return to your rhythm is a chance to reinforce your commitment to living according to Stoic virtues, treating each setback not as a failure, but as a step in the ongoing journey of self-mastery and personal development. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Stoicism. Remember, every step you take in mastering yourself teaches you to embrace life's challenges with resilience and wisdom. Since you've made it to the end, share with us your thoughts in the comments. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. See you soon.